Hey church, what's going on? It's Tuesday and this is your Daily Dose. I want to start off with some questions for you today. How do we know what's right and what's wrong, right? How about this question? Did Jesus really rise from the dead? How was the world created? How do we know that heaven and hell exist? What's the answer to these? Well, one of the answers we have to these is right here. It's our Bible. You see, our Bible holds the answer to all of those questions. The reason you know the answer is because of the Bible. You see, our Bibles hold onto our faith, right? Almost picture like you're dangling over a ledge and somebody grabs your hand. That hand is the Bible when it comes to your faith. And so this leads us to a really important question for any of us who follow Jesus. And that question looks like this. Is the Bible reliable? Is it something that is trustworthy, that we can take to the bank and base our lives on, or is it just another book? Well, historians have figured out different ways that we can determine whether a historical document such as our Bibles is actually true or if it's false. And there's 4 different questions that they ask. The first is this right here. When was it written? Right? When was it written? The second is this. How many copies do we have? The third relates to that. How many copies that we have, and are they consistent? And the fourth is this: who gains from these writings? Who gains from these writings? So what I want to do is I want to go through those 4 questions with you and give you a short little brief, tiny picture into the reliability of our Bible. The first question is this: when was it written? Most people believe that the Bible was written 25 to 50 years after the death and resurrection of Jesus. A couple reasons they believe this is because the eyewitnesses. You see, if you look throughout the entire book, or the entire New Testament, I should say, the majority of the books are written by people who were there. There were people who knew Jesus, or there were people like Luke who sat down with the mother of Jesus, Mary, and got her side of the entire story. Speaking of Luke, he also wrote the book of Acts. Now, the book of Acts, it covers the early church. And this is another way that we can determine how and when the New Testament of the Bible was written. And how they do this is based on what they include in Acts and what they don't. You see, one of the key things that we don't see included in the book of Acts is the destruction of the temple that happens in AD 70. This was a huge deal, friends, because Jesus himself had prophesied that the temple would be destroyed. If Luke is still writing Acts in AD 70, you better believe that he's going to put it in there. And the other piece we have is what it does include. You see, it includes the death of James the Less in AD 44. James the Less was somebody that, for the most part, not too many people cared about. What this basically tells us is that we can trust the Bible was written between 25 and 50 years after, right? So that's the first question. The second is this: how many copies do we have, right? If we look at different historical figures, we can determine the reliability of the writings based on how many manuscripts we have. You might know Plato from your high school classes, right? He had 7 manuscripts that were found from him. Aristotle's another one you might know. He's had 49 manuscripts. So how many do you think the Bible has? 5, 10, 15? Check this out. If you look at the New Testament and the Greek text alone, there are 5,600 manuscripts. That's a lot of manuscripts, right? And this is how we know that it's reliable, right? The second part of this question looks like this: are these copies consistent? Picture it this way, right? Imagine that you were sending your spouse a text to ask them to pick up milk, right? And you sent the first text and you said, hey, can you pick up the milk? But instead of writing hey as H-E-Y, you put H-J-E, right? You made a mistake, right? You'd probably look at it and go, oh shoot, I need to send another one. And so imagine that you send another one and you get it wrong again. And you send another one and you get a different part wrong, right? Instead of asking her to pick up the milk, you ask her to pick up the mail, right? Now picture you do that 5 or 6 times and you never actually get it 100% right. Now there's nobody that would look at those texts and say, these aren't consistent. You know exactly what they're saying, right? They're saying, hey, can you pick up the milk? See, this is the variation that we see throughout the New Testament, or the New Testament manuscripts. All we see is these small changes, and even the most skeptical of scholars would tell you that these changes, these tiny variations, don't amount to anything as far as our Christian doctrine. The fourth question is this right here: who gains from these writings? You see, historians, they know that if you have something to gain, you might bend the truth, right? If I told you that instead of wearing a blue shirt, I was wearing a red shirt, and if you said that I give you $20, you'd probably tell me that I have a red shirt on, right? You see, the men that wrote the New Testament had nothing to gain and everything to lose. You see, these guys, they were facing intense persecution. In fact, if you look at the majority of the people that wrote the New Testament, almost every single one of them died a violent death, and they never recounted what they said. Here's what this all lines up to mean for you and for me: that the Bible is reliable. That the Bible's reliable, and that should change the way we live. So here's the question I want to leave you with here on this Tuesday. Do you actually believe that the Word of God is reliable, number one? But two, are you willing to live your life off of it? This has been your Daily Dose. Catch you guys tomorrow.